Hey there, if this is your first time, welcome back to my channel, and if you've been here before, welcome back. My name is Daniel. I've been a digital nomad for well over a year, and in this video I will be attempting to help you become a digital nomad in less than 12 months. I know that is a very bold claim, but I will attempt to do that, and hopefully you learn something in this video. So the very first thing you need to ask yourself is this: why do you want to become a digital nomad? Now, there are so many benefits to being a digital nomad, the biggest of which is cost advantages. Take for example, you can live in South America for about $1,000 a month, but with the same lifestyle in the United States, you'll be spending 3-4 times more. So there you go. That's the video. I'll see you in the next one. But that's not the real message. The message is, why are you doing this? Are you doing this because of the advantages that comes with it, or are you doing it just to be cool to your friends and family, just to tell them, hey, look at me, I'm traveling the world? No matter the reason why you're doing it, just ask yourself and be honest. You want to be doing it for the right reasons, or you're not going to be doing it for a long time, because this lifestyle is not a joke. It can get very boring very fast, and you don't want to be caught on that side of the spectrum. Let's talk about the first thing you want to do if you want to become a digital nomad as fast as possible, and that is to have a timeline. So the goal here is to become a digital nomad, and we all know that any goal without a timeline is simply a wish. So set it for yourself. Maybe it's not 12 months, maybe you want to do it in 2 years or in 3 years. That's all well and good, but you want to make sure that you have something concrete that you can put your finger on. Now, another question you want to ask yourself is this: what type of nomad or what type of traveler do you want to be? Do you want to be a slow traveler or a fast traveler? Now, we need to understand the distinction between these two. A slow traveler is someone who goes to a destination and stays there for an extended period of time, while a fast traveler or a fast nomad is someone who goes from place to place either every few days or every few weeks. Now, there are advantages to both, but there are also downsides. Now, let's talk about the advantages of being a slow nomad, or in this case, a slowmad. Like myself, I'm a slow nomad. I travel very slowly. In the last 1 year, I've only been to about 4 countries, 2 of which I've stayed in for an extended period of time. In fact, make that 3, because I was just in Nigeria with my family for about 2 months. Now, one of the upsides of doing that for me, which is the biggest upside really, is the fact that I get to spend less money. I'm in Albania right now. I've been here for over a month, and the fact that I can rent an apartment here on Airbnb or maybe off Airbnb for less than the amount that I would pay for my basement apartment in the DC region is mind-blowing to me. This apartment I paid $600, and that's inclusive of everything: furnished apartment, internet, water, electricity. So that for me is a big win, because if I were to rent this apartment on a day-to-day basis, I'll be paying not less than $35. And to get this kind of deal on a monthly basis for an extended period of time also allows me to put my head down and get in a routine and be able to work, so that way I still have a life outside of travel. The downsides, however, is that I don't get to see as many places as other people. In the last 1 year, like I said, I've been to just 4 countries, whereas some people may have traveled 20 countries in that period of time. But to me, that is not a big loss, because I still have all these years ahead of me that I will be spending in visiting places anyway. So if you decide to become a fast nomad, of course, one of the upsides is that you will be visiting a lot of places. But the downside to that is that, one, you're spending so much money in plane tickets, in accommodation, unless you want to be sleeping in hostels, and that is very doable. But if you're someone who works like me, I don't think you will be getting a lot done sleeping in hostels everywhere you go. So keep this in mind. Being a fast nomad, you'll be spending more money, and it might take a toll on your physical and mental health. And being a slow nomad means you get to spend less money, and you get to still live your life as if you weren't traveling at all, while enjoying all of the benefits of being a digital nomad. Now, to the next thing you need to do, and that is saving money. Saving money before you decide to travel is really, really important. I cannot stress this enough. You don't want to be broke while you're on the road. You don't want to call your family and friends to send you money, because that happened to me one time, and not because I didn't plan ahead, but just because I made some financial investments that didn't pan out the way I wanted them to. And that could happen to anyone. Now, if you are looking to travel for the foreseeable future, future for a long time. You need to have some money saved because you just don't want to find yourself on the other side of the world not being prepared, having to ask strangers for the most basic things. It's a very weird, embarrassing spot to be in, and it will ruin your experience as a digital nomad or as a traveler. Now, after you have some money saved, the next thing you want to do is to get a remote job. Now, if there's any one thing you take away from this video, let it be this. You want to get a remote job, because what's the point of being a digital nomad if you cannot work remotely? That is the main point of being a digital nomad. Now, there's a difference between work from home and work from anywhere. Either you get a remote job or you start your own business that is guaranteed to make you money. Now, one of the benefits of having a remote job that you can work in, 9 to 5, or maybe that just has a constant paycheck, is the constant paycheck. Now, when I started traveling, this is exactly what I did. I found a remote 9 to 5 jobs, which still required that I work Eastern time zone hours, but I didn't mind that. But the fact that I could rely on my paycheck every 2 weeks just gave me the peace of mind to focus on my travel, to enjoy the places that I'm in, and not having to worry about money. And this is exactly what you want to do as well. So if you're in a 9 to 5 job right now, you want to start applying to jobs, you want to start leveling up your skills. Now, this is a whole nother video on its own, but I made a video here which I'll put here in the cards if you want to watch the blueprint to becoming a digital nomad. I talk in depth about all of these things, but there's still more nuanced topics about getting remote jobs that I still will make a video about. But if you have any digital skill, you might want to start looking at applying to these remote jobs. If you can do social media, if you have photography skill, video editing skills, digital marketing skills, these are the type of skills that are in high demand in the digital remote work world. But if you don't have any of the skill, that's okay. You still have enough time to develop some of the skills, and that is why we needed to set a timeline in the first place, remember? So to land a remote 9 to 5 job is not an easy feat. You need to send out tons and tons of job applications, you need to attend interviews, and you just need to present yourself right in order to prove that you are the right person for this role. So once you get this remote job, you can be rest assured that your digital nomad journey is off to a great start. Now let's talk about getting paid to travel, and you can do this by applying for reward credit cards. Now there's some credit cards that will give you points for booking on certain airlines, and there are some that will just give you bonus point for booking Airbnbs and all of these things. But the one thing that you want to do before you start traveling is to apply for credit cards that will give you rewards, whether that's through booking hotels, booking Airbnbs, booking flights, or anything that relates to travel, because now you are not only spending money, but you're getting rewarded. You're getting some type of return on traveling, and a lot of people use this to book flights. I have some credit cards myself that I use in booking flights, and this gives me rewards like complimentary upgrades, and even having to check my bags for free. So these are some of the things that you would otherwise need to pay for, but just having credit cards like this just saves you a lot of those cards, and you can put that money back in your pocket, spend that on your experiences, and just enjoy your trip. Now once you have all of these things in place, the last thing you want to do is to start looking at places that you want to go. As a digital nomad, there are a ton of places that you can go, especially if you have tier 1 passports, meaning passports from the United States, from North America generally, and from a lot of European countries, or from your EU region. Now as an American citizen, there are a lot of countries you can access visa free, and also as an EU citizen. But for someone like myself who holds a passport from a tier 3 country, which is Nigeria, and just being a US resident, I don't have as much privilege as a lot of my other digital nomad counterparts. So I still have to apply for visas. I have to do my due diligence on the countries I'm going to, even if they say visa free or visa on arrival on the government website. So here's what I mean when I say you want to stay closer to home. As a fresh digital nomad, you don't know exactly what you will be coming across in these countries. So for me, I decided to travel to Mexico City, because Mexico City was just a 3-hour flight from where I lived at the time. So when I went to Mexico City, I was able to still stay closer to home, but still get that digital nomad feel, still be amongst a community, because Mexico City is one of those cities where there's a lot of digital nomads and you won't find a shortage of them. So I decided to go to Mexico City. I decided to get a feel for it for about a month. And after that, when I felt confident enough, that's when I began to venture route. Then I came to Albania, then back to Mexico City, then I went to Turkey for a little bit, then I went to Nigeria. So you want to stay close to home as much as you can so you can get a feel for what it's like as a digital nomad. Because I've seen people start off by going to a place like Thailand or Bali, and after a few weeks they have to book a flight home because some of the things that they encountered weren't as they had seen online or in certain YouTube videos. So at the end of the day, you want to make sure that you do your research. You want to make sure that you have all of these pieces in place, especially the financial aspect of being a digital nomad, because that is the biggest hurdle that you will have to encounter and overcome. And although this video says you can become a digital nomad in 12 months or less, that is not to say that that is the time that you have. Of course, you can give yourself more time. You can give yourself as much time as you need, in fact, to get all of those pieces in place so you can have yourself a blast when you start traveling. So if you've enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe, and I do have a resource for you. So if you're looking to get started maybe with freelancing and you're just wondering how you start getting clients, how you start landing your first client, your first paying clients on a site like Upwork, I have a free resource, a free course that I'll link down in the description that you can go check out. It's going to teach you everything I know, how I started getting clients for my freelance business using a website like Upwork. And also, if you want to listen to the other digital nomads who have been traveling for a while, running businesses as they travel, my podcast Inspired by Freedom is also linked in the description down below. You can go check it out, listen to this inspiring entrepreneurs so you can get inspired as well. If this video has been helpful, consider subscribing, and if you have any questions, leave them down in the comments down below. And if you want to see what I do on my day-to-day life wherever I am, you can follow me on Instagram. It's called If Daniel Did, as you have on this YouTube channel, and shoot me a message if you will. My name is Daniel, and I will see you in the next video. Ciao, ciao.